tell fabulous stories about Hollywood, be inspired, and it is all going down shortly over yonder. So, how to be the star of your life, lessons from Hollywood and beyond. Here we go. I didn't really think that one way or another that I was a female director, that my projects were kooky, that my types of movies I wanted to make was like modeled after Russ Meyer and Roger Corman. I mean, these are the kind of things I wanted to do. And I was very, I think my goal was to direct a Hollywood film by the age of 30. And I ended up directing, actually, Assault of the Killer Bimbos at 29, so that came true. But it's interesting as I looked back and thought, I didn't think there were limitations. I didn't think there were limitations as a female director. I didn't think there were limitations for weird-ass kooky projects either. It was just, these were just what I wanted to make. So the story, some of the stories that I told, my chapter is, which ends up in, after 14 years, my chapter is called Not Even a 4-Hour Lunch with George Clooney Could Keep Me in the Movie Business. At the time, it's interesting because I got 2 films made. I was trying to get projects going. I was writing my own stuff. I was pitching and selling, and I think my parents were getting a little impatient because everything was, let's do lunch. I'm sure that David can relate to the let's do lunch, telling your parents you got the project that's going to happen. And so I just thought, God, there's a lot of women that were directing at the time, and I thought they were leaving the business. I thought, why would you leave such an exciting business? I mean, I thought, why would I ever leave? And then I ended up leaving. But one of the reasons that I ended up leaving, I felt something that I became more successful at. So I used the tools from filmmaking to build 2 lifestyle businesses. So one of the things that I had done in the book is I divided up my chapters into how films are being made. So the sections are producer and director and actor and crew and writer. I forgot writer, but I did it in sequence, and I really did follow along with creating these other businesses as if I was actually making a movie. And so that's kind of one of the goals I wanted to make in this book, was trying to translate what we've all learned in film business that we could apply in our life, in everything in our life or other lives. And everyone here that's up here has really done that as well, so they're going to talk about that. And they are here to share sage wisdom of shining in the spotlight.
Nice to see everyone. Okay, so Valley Girl was one of my early projects. I worked with female director Martha Coolidge and actor Nicolas Cage. I knew Nicolas Cage because we went to Beverly Hills High School together. Nick lived with his grandmother and didn't have a car, so I drove him to audition once or twice in that time period. He was a little younger than me, but was my high school friend. When Valley Girl came out, that was a big deal. We didn't really know that Valley Girl was going to be a big hit. We just knew that it was a low-budget movie. They had us wear our own clothes for this full-length feature. It was a very quick shoot. Everyone was young. There was a lot of making out going on in the trailers. Nobody had any idea that it would become an iconic pop culture film affecting all of our lives. I had no idea how popular any of my movies would become. Even when I starred as Dottie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure with Paul Reubens, I had no clue that it would blow up and become a cult hit even today. You just never know. When I was little, I used to do kids' voices with my best friend on the playground. When I got older, it turned into a giant goose that laid the golden egg. At my first voiceover audition, they showed me a claymation character, about this big. I thought, well, that's funny. That kind of looks like the voice I've been doing my whole life since I was a little girl, like on the playground. So I put the voice to this little claymation character, and it became the first animation job I ever booked, which happened to be Tommy Pickles on the Rugrats. On the Nickelodeon series Rugrats, which won lots of Emmys and whatnot. We're still doing Rugrats. It's on season 2 of a brand new reboot for Paramount Plus, and that was pretty cool. 14 years after we stopped, they rebooted the whole thing, which was pretty amazing. That's what's so cool about the industry, is you could be doing nothing and thinking like, my life is like, where am I going? And then all of a sudden something like just blows your way, and you're like, things just take off. And I really believe that's like beautiful spiritual stuff that just says, just be patient, have fun, enjoy your life.
Don't you call them
offshoots, that's a whole topic you talk about.
Yeah, I talk about that.
I like that.
Well, offshoots are just, I talk about offshoots being just being open to, you know, opportunities that are different than you might think. You're like on a very specific path going this way, and you're like, no, I'm gonna do this thing, and then all of a sudden you get a little tap like, you should try voiceover, and I'm like, no, I'm an actress, I'm a singer, you should try voiceover. And then I booked this voiceover job that changed my life, basically, and it became a huge and also beautiful spiritual thing for me, because it had nothing to do with the way I looked. It had to do with my voice and my talent, and I really like that, because Hollywood really makes you very self-conscious, as you know, and you're very like, it really matters to everybody. Oh my God, you look old. Oh my God, you're pretty. Oh my God, you gained weight. Oh God, your skin. Whatever it is, I think there's something beautiful about voiceover, because it didn't matter what I looked like. I could just be my true self, which is the artistic self. And that's not to say I don't love doing on-camera things, because I do a lot of on-camera movies and projects. But a lot of my favorite roles are roles where I get to change myself, like Rob Zombie movies that I do, where I get to sort of transform myself and become a totally different character, almost like a cartoon becoming a real-life person. Those are my favorite acting roles. Like, people say, we just want you to play yourself. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. I can't play myself, because I don't know who that is. But crazy characters, or just something that goes a little beyond. I just love the magic of that. So anyway, yeah. So that's what I talk about offshoots in this too, is just following things that you might not be doing, that you might, following a thread of something that, you know, might be something totally off what you're thinking, and it turns out to be this amazing thing that takes you full circle back to what you really want in your life. Like, I do that a lot. I just think, trust more, things come to me that are miraculous, that actually get me further towards what I want than what I think. So I always try to, like, this sounds crazy, but I always try to do this, like, set aside, there's this little set aside prayer, and it's like, help me set aside everything I think I know about my life, my career, how I'm supposed to do this, how I'm supposed to do that, how that's supposed to work out, so that I can be open to a new experience. And I try to do that with my career. I try to always sort of be open to, like, different opportunities, and I think that's why my career is just goes everywhere. I go from a voiceover job to a movie, to a music thing, to a soundtrack, to, like, right now, and everybody is here is on TikTok, but my TikTok has been going viral, which wasn't anything I was anticipating, you know, but it's got, like, some of my videos have gotten like 36 million views.
Oh, wow.
Or 32 million views. Like, it's some crazy out numbers. But again, nothing that I could plan. I just do things that are fun. I try to stay connected to what makes me happy. And I try to live connected to people. Like, to me, it's more important that I stay connected to people than just my career, because careers get boring. But staying connected to people, and then beautiful things and opportunities coming to you, is more fun when you have real connection with humans, which is my favorite thing about life, is my connection, my tribe, my people. It's more important to me than anything, and I'm super grateful, which I think is all I need to say, but I'm super grateful for all the work I've gotten to do, and I just think it's because I stay open to opportunities, and I don't try to be fixated on, like, I'm an actress, I'm just a singer, I'm just a cartoon famous person, you know. I try to stay really open.
We have this quote that I love. This we have: just say yes to everything and see where it takes you. And I like, there's no age limit, only your own limitations.
Yeah.
But I think as women we need to hear that. I mean, I think as guys we need to hear that. I think as people we need to hear that.
Yeah. And I will clarify, not yes to everything. I mean,
Okay.
in that for particular thing, you know, I also have my intuition that I listen to, and some things are a no. I listen to my body will say, yeah, this feels really right. This is a hell yes in my body. But there are moments where I'm like, this doesn't feel good. And it can't be a hell yes if this doesn't feel good. That's a hell no. So it's pretty simple. Is this a hell yes? That means dealing with people. That means opportunities get offered to me. That means projects. Is this a hell yes, or is this like, oh, I don't know, this feels weird. So hell yes and hell no are like, I listen to my body today. I really listen. So that's me.
And hell yes, she showed up here, so yay. We're so grateful it happened here. Thank you.
For me, I had a kind of a conflict between the left side of my brain and the right side of my brain. So I'll read that first, and then I'll do the Yoko thing. Which is, but all these I'm realizing, because of what you said, are similar. And I said, here, technical mastery comes from the left brain. The left brain must be tamed. The right brain is your creative self. Before you start thinking about the technical thing, what I think is really important is to first close your eyes and think of the image that is in your head. Or better yet, draw a picture. That way you're using your creative side, the right brain, to think of what you want. That's step one. Then step two, you ask, how am I going to achieve that? Now you have to be in the left brain. Okay, I want it to look like this. If I want it to look like this, I'm going to go there and put a gel on it. I'm going to have to put that thing over there, and the camera has to be set this way. That's all the craft and the technique. But you can't just jump into the technique. Take a moment, take a breath, close your eyes, and imagine what you see. Find the image in your mind first, then create it. So that's me, kind of cinematographer thing. And then,
Do
you
the
know,
secretary thing. I think the secretary.
and the secretary kind of goes into that because
Okay.
it's kind of similar. When I was doing secretary, I was talking about one of the best examples of looking outside the box and having fresh thinking is when I was shooting the movie Secretary. We did one rehearsal where I saw something special in a key scene where the stars James Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal first connect. He puts his hand next to her and her fingers wrap around his. This happened in only one rehearsal. I went up to Steve Fierberg, the director, and said, we have to get a close-up of this because it's kind of the key moment in the film. So we shot a close-up of their fingers intertwined. Many people, including Maggie, have subsequently said this is what they remember most about the film. It wasn't on the shot list, but I kept my eyes open and said, look at that. So you want to plan, you want to pre-visualize, but you always want to be open to what life gives you, which is often better than what you planned.
I got chills. I got chills when you said that.
Oh.
It's so true.
Wow.
I mean, even though but I always like when I operate the camera a lot, the other eye is always open. Because that's what we're doing. But like, what else is going on there? And a story that's not in it, can I tell you?
Yeah, well, go for
Okay,
it.
like,
Yeah.
well,
please
you know, at one
share.
point in my life, I took like this thing called mushrooms. You know, I don't know if you're it's not the ones you get at the Whole Foods. And when you first do that, at a certain, you know, before it goes hallucinogenic, there's a moment when you see reality exactly how it is, and like unfiltered by what you want, your desires. Because most time we're walking around, okay, well, can I eat that? Will that give me a job? Can I make money off that? You know, can I park there? So you're only looking for what your mind is filtering what you see. And what happened in those kind of experiences is actually you get it unfiltered. Like there is everything at once with no emphasis to, well, that's important and that's less important. It's all there. And one of the things I try to do before I look in a camera or before I even look at a scene is try to take that moment and think, okay, if I had taken mushrooms, which I don't, no, but if I did, and I never would on a set, never. My God, never do anything on a set. I don't do any of that. And but if you did, you just look, and then you see what's really out there. And you have to do that. I think it gives you so much, and it allows you to see what's happening right now. Not what you thought was going to happen, and not what you want to happen, but what really is happening.
Ooh. Oh, you know what? I do like Emily in Paris, like the city as a character.
Well, I mean, I guess that goes with that, I guess.
All right.
Let's see, Emily was not the kind of project I normally would have done. I like dark and tragic, which Emily is not. So it's getting more that way. Two things that made me want to do Emily is that number one, I love Darren Star. He's a lovely man. We always wanted to work together, but I was never available. Number two, I love Paris. I'm obsessed with French films. Most of my favorite films are French. 400 Blows is a quintessential film for me. Weekend, kind of dissimilar. The Jean-Luc Godard movie got me interested in making films. And I was in my element shooting in Paris. It was a dream for me, and I think Darren hired me because I'm very good at shooting what we call place, capturing the energy of a particular location. In Entourage, I captured Los Angeles very well, the vision of LA, the city itself as a character. Again, looking outside the box, going back to the mushroom thing, I try to really look at the place, where we're going to shoot. Even though I'm shooting actors in that setting, I want to feel the setting. That's part of the story. I want to integrate the setting into the story. I'm not just shooting people talking. And that's why he hired me. Darren said he knew I would capture Paris, that I would somehow make people feel they were in Paris. I opened up the box to my vision machine with a wide angle lens versus a telephoto lens, so you can see and experience where you are. In Zen speak, when you live your life through a wide angle, you see and experience everything without judging.
Reluctantly involved in the business at all. I had a mother who was really out there and, you know, as an actress, necessarily very self-absorbed and didn't defer to anybody except my father, who was a huge narcissist. So I had a lot of shadow to live under. They're both dead, and it's kind of an opportunity for me now. But I figured I had to do something really important, really big in the world. So I did a summer intern in Hawaii and found out there's a floating cities program. And I thought, okay, I'm going to build a city in the ocean. And then I started to pursue that. And I went to law school with that in mind. And in law school, there was, of course, the entertainment law review and things like that. I thought, I'm never going to do the entertainment law. And then when I got out of law school, I hung up my shingle and was doing immigration and family law and personal injury, none of which really appealed to me. And then my clients tended to be in the entertainment business because that's where I grew up. So I started doing some of that and found that I really enjoyed the work, which is basically packaging copyrights and rights and complex deals, negotiating and making win-win deals, and a lot of positive work and all that. So I did end up enjoying that, and then I'd been practicing for about 6 years, and I thought, you know, I better get this out of my system. So for the next 6 years, I was an actor.
An air quote actor.
An air quote actor.
And you got your SAG card on what? Actually, Tanya, did you get your SAG card?
I did.
See,
Thank you very much.
we got a lot of SAG cards. We've had a lot of SAG cards on Modern
Yeah,
Girls.
you're welcome.
Huh?
You're welcome.
Okay, well, thanks, Jonathan, from Atlantic.
So I went to work with some of the best teachers. Peggy Fury, Cage was in that class with me, and a lot of people that have done very well. And I worked with the Groundlings and things like that. Did probably one A film, starred in a video, you know, how-to. So didn't really get too far. But one of the things that Anita points out in the book that I really experienced was the dichotomy of being an actor, which was to work really hard, get prepared, and mostly let go of your ego and put yourself out there as an actor and not, you know, bear your emotions completely. And then at the same time, next, you know, don't call us, we'll call you, and you're out. And you have to have a strong ego on the other hand to be able to pick yourself up and keep going on. And for me, that was, you know, my mother was brilliant, and eventually I realized that not everybody's brilliant, and I was not one of those people who was brilliant. So that was one of the reasons I left. But also, I you know, there is a certain superficiality necessarily in the business, and I wanted to kind of make a difference in the world. So between that and not being a very good actor, I went back to practicing law and went on to do a few other things too.
Would you have a quote in there about burnt skin or something? What was
Well,
it?
if I said that, I'm really impressed.
Okay. Then yes.
Yeah,
I
you know,
think you did say that.
have
No,
to,
you did say that.
to have the you know, the burnt skin. How could you be more vulnerable than that? And then have rhino skin on the
Rhino
other
skin.
hand, right?
All right. Well, read your Modern Girl story though.
Well,
because that's pretty
I'm
good.
gonna have to get my glasses, which I left back there. But
You want to see if these work?
yeah, let me see if this works.
Maybe they'll work.
Those. I have a glasses.
Have
Do
you-
those work?
Does it work?
I've got a skinny nose, but let's see. Yeah, let's see where we are. So this is getting my SAG card. can.
Okay,
Well,
it's
let me
on
just,
what? It's on
get
page
your
one.
glasses.
It's on page 130.
1:30. Okay.
It says Adam,
Okay.
because they interviewed the two of them back and forth.
Well, it's
Which
okay.
one?
All
Wait,
right,
I just
so-
have to intercept
yeah, I
really
got
quickly.
you.
One of
I
the
got
things that so your mom was like one of the oldest contestants on Dancing with the Stars. So I'm interviewing the two of them, and Adam says, "Wait, it was just like, oh, well, I love that. Okay, so you said you hold the record for the oldest contestant on Dancing with the Stars at 82, and your mom goes, I'm 91 now, 90 fucking one. You can't say 90 fucking, it doesn't sound right, but you can't say 90 fucking one. And then you go, to me, you were the classic contrarian on Dancing with the Stars. Whatever it was, you were against it. No matter what the judges wanted, you would say, no, we aren't going to do it that way, we're going to do it my way. And Cloris goes, I didn't think of it like that. I just didn't know what to do. I was on my elbows half the time. Everyone else was losing weight, and I gained a pound a day. And then you said they gave you tips for your performances, but all you wanted to do is fuck Len Goodman, the judge, so he could give you better scores. And then they both roared with laughter, which I just think, yeah. You guys are really, actually wait, before you read your chapter, because one of the things I forgot in your introduction, your family threw the best holiday parties. Easter party, I always went to the Easter party. So the thing
Those
is,
are actually my parties.
I only knew Cloris as
I
my
just
friend's
see the cash.
mother. That's how I knew Cloris. And I mean, she's won like what, more Emmys than anybody else, or tied with
Until-
Louis Dreyfus
until
or
she came
something.
along, yeah.
Okay, something like that. But anyway, that's how I knew her was Adam's mom. And I just love those parties. And one thing that was meaningful to me is when I first moved here, I had no family, and you guys were like, invited me because you knew I had no family, and I met you from a high school friend, and you would include me in all those family things, and it was really meaningful to me to be able to have like a family I could go over and hang out with and do all the, I don't know. And I remember at your wedding, I sat behind Lou Grant and I can't think of her name.
I'm working on it.
I know. Wait, who was the other actress that was? It wasn't Mary
Rhoda.
Taylor Moore. Rona. Yeah, I
That
was
was her
like,
character.
yes, I was behind the two of them, and I was like so excited because I was like sitting behind them. But anyway, there's that. Okay, let me hear your modern girl story.
I could do the limbo better than anyone, so that is what qualified me with a special talent needed to earn the card. I played the gay guy. That was the screen credit. I got my SAG card by playing the gay guy. I had my little scene. I had a line of dialogue. Let's limbo. I went under the limbo stick a lot during the various takes. I was very limber in those days. Still am. The movie premiere was memorable. It was actually a cast and crew screening, and it was the first screening I took my mom to. She said, Adam, this is great. We were so excited. And that's when Anita pulled me aside before the movie started and said, sorry to tell you, Adam, but you're on the cutting room floor. You're still in the film, but your line's been cut. My part had been cut. Oh my God, here I am with my mother, and this big day in my life, a big SAG card, and I get cut out. I still did the limbo in the film, but my dialogue had been edited out. I told this to my mom before the movie started, so she was prepared, and I was devastated. She comforted me, it's okay. So we watched the movie, and there I was doing the limbo, and she stood up in the middle of the movie, and and shouted, "That's my boy." She always had a knack for embarrassing me. I had to roll with being cut out, but the thrill was when my mom stood up. I was disappointed, but it was funny too. But she really would go out of her way to embarrass me. She came to visit me at college once, and was in my math education class, teaching kids how to do math. And I said, if you do anything, you're gone. And so, of course, like Roger Rabbit, the teacher said, how do you teach kids to add 1 + 1? And so the kids all raised their hands with good ideas about how to do that, and she was trying to, finally calls on her, and she says, just pay him $1. So I put her in the car and drove her to the airport and didn't speak to her.
There
So
you
this
go.
was one of those moments too. It was very
So
interesting.
it's the only chapter in the book that has two people in it, and it's really fun, and you get a chance to see a little bit of their dynamic. And your stories were really fabulous and fun.
I've got to say, I'm honored to be with you two guys because you are real Hollywood. I'm just outsider.
No, everybody is. You guys shared such really beautiful things, and I appreciate it. I want to kind of wrap up today by telling you that I put a secret something in the book, and I want to let you guys know because of course you're all going to get a copy and we're going to sign it. But so because I wanted to put some spiritual something in it, and I also wanted to, I want you to be inspired and read these quotes and hear these fun stories and then apply it to your life, creatively, your life. It took me almost a year to figure this out. Okay, so you get a QR code at the back of the book. And the QR code, when you go on, will let you plot your Chinese astrology chart. Okay? Something a little different. So